On the bench here is a Creative Touch Fashion Machine 1036 from Singer. The person that gave this to me said, quote, "I never want to see it again," unquote. And when I first got this machine, I didn't quite know how to clean the bobbin or what to do about the bobbin race cleaning or anything. And it sounds like a washing machine full of gravel when it runs. And there's kind of a rough spot when you turn it. So I'm guessing that somewhere in the belt end here there's something going on. But this is a machine that was sold as a never needs lubrication machine, which, you know, if you expect it to last about 20 years, then never needs to be lubricated is about right. However, it's from the 80s, and that means that it's time for it to get a little bit of oil back in it, and to figure out why this end is all grindy. Also, this machine originally had a rubber feed dog that was covered in plastic, and after 40 years that plastic has all melted and left feed dogs that do not feed. So we are going to start with replacing the feed dogs with these new metal ones, because Singer does sell replacement feed dogs, or at least you can get replacement feed dogs for these machines that had rubber feet or rubber feed dogs in them, so that you can use the machine after the feed dogs melt. And like, this is not a touch and sew, but it does have touch in the name, and I would guess that it is in the tradition of the touch and sew, which I've never worked on a touch and sew, but the only person I've ever asked about them or have seen with one said that they're called touch and swears for a reason, which I could imagine. They were, you know, supposed to be a heavily automatic machine with a lot of clever features, and as you may have been looking at this machine while I'm taking the feed dog off, there is not a bobbin winder readily evident on it. That's because this is one of the wind in place machines that takes the split bobbin. There we go. There's that smooth feed dog that had rubber coating on it. But it's got this. It's got these bobbins, the ones that pop apart for you to clean them. And they're supposed to wind in place down inside the machine, and there's a drive pin down below the bobbin, and you can shift it into driving to wind the bobbin, which feels like a thing that's too clever for its own good, because, you know, like, the rest of the machine has to spin in order for you to be winding a bobbin, and while it's nice that you don't have to take all the thread out of the top of the machine to wind a bobbin, you just do a trick down below here, it still means that you've got to, like, pull your project out of the machine and clear it out and look and watch the bobbin wind, because there's no automatic stop in this. Okay. Let me see if I can shake that screw out of there. Otherwise, we may be figuring out how to open this up right away. Alright, well, that screw fell down in there, and I couldn't shake it out. So I guess step one, we're going to learn how to open the bottom of this machine to find the screw for that presser foot, or for that feed dog. And I guess, since we're going to start taking the machine apart, we'll just keep going until we can get a look at the bobbin end, or the, why did I say bobbin end? The hand wheel end with all the belts and drive to see what might be making that grindy noise. But it appears there's a screw over here next to the plug area, and then these feet appear to all be screws that fasten the bottom on this machine. And I guess since we're going to be in here already, we'll look underneath here and see what needs to get lubricated and what we might want to lubricate it with, because like I said, these were sold as a needs no lubrication machine, but you know, that was 40 some years ago, and whatever lubrication you put in a sealed bearing or sealed whatever, after 40 years you need to do some maintenance on it. So, oh, there's one more screw in that hole. Alright. Let's see, are these two screws? Yep, those two screws are the same. Cool. Don't have to keep them separated. Is this foot connected to something? Oh, this foot is connected to something. I assumed that since these 2 feet were so close together, they wouldn't be connected to anything, but I guess I was wrong. Oh, this foot isn't connected to anything. That's just a brass insert. Oh, and there's a lot of brown goo rubber in the bottom of this, and lead, and other rubber materials to help quiet this machine up. Okay. Alright, now, where do we think that screw went? I don't see it in this case, so I guess we'll... There it is. Tip the machine up, and there it goes. So we'll set the machine up and get this screw. Okay, so I've got that screw in, and now the needle plate is right here in the accessory thing. I'm just gonna stick the needle plate in place and get our stitch length as long as it goes. Alright, well, I think that's lined up the way it needs to be, so we're gonna just lift that plate off of there and hook this up. Whenever you replace feed dogs, you gotta check and make sure they're not rubbing on the plate too badly. So hear what the crunky noise this machine makes. Good grief. Also, I think I have my stitch set for Speed dogs are not moving, but they're going up and down, so we'll pop that out of the way and see what we can do to get at the end here where it's making all this crunching noise. So yeah, feel the crunch in there. But I'm going to take a second and lubricate this underside here. And then, oh, I spy there we go, pin here that holds the plate on over the bobbin, okay, or for the bobbin. So if we pop this spring down, it releases and lets us slide our bobbin case or cover off so that we can look at our hook and everything. And I am not going to try to remove this because this looks pretty clean in there, but if we have any issues, now we know how to get this top off. I'm going to leave the bottom open and then see if we can get the top apart here. So it looks like there's 3 screws here. So we need a different size bit for this. There we go. That fits. Okay, there's one screw. There's a second screw here. And that has loosened up, so we can just spin it out. But as you can see, this cover on here makes it so you can't get a big long straight handle screwdriver in on here. So Okay. And that is a different style screw there, so we'll just line those up 1, 2, 3 in order. For the order they came out, so we'll know which way to put them in again. Oh, yeah. So 3 different styles of screw on there. 1, 2, 3. Let's see. This release lever is in the way, so... Oh, knobs just pop off here. So good news on that front. And then... Aha, okay. Let me move the camera. Okay. So you can see the release lever here. And there's a tab right here. So if we pop this tab in with a screwdriver, that's going to let us flip the release lever up, and now it just pops off of there. Alright, the release lever came off. This end is stuck. I wonder if I can get this... I feel a crack on the back. Oh, there is a screw up under here. Let's try... There's a screw here just behind the presser foot. And I wonder if taking that out will... Oh, look at that end cap get loose. Okay. So... And... Is that another kind of screw, or is it no, the same as that center screw? Okay. Well, at least it's not another kind of screw. Look at that. The whole end popped off. I'm going to just put the screw back in there. Now, aha! There we go. We lift right off now. Okay. So that's the underside of that. And now with the cover off, what can we see in here? This trim. Still don't see a way to get this machine to split. Let's look again. Okay, so you can see there's this split in the case for the machine for front and back. However, if I tip this up, there does not appear to be anything fastening, obviously, the front of this together where I can split it. What is that? Oh. That is foam off of the thread spool. Okay. Makes sense. It's about that age. Yeah. And that grinding is still in the end of the machine with the belts here. Okay, so there's a piece of trim here that just lifts off the front. It's got the selector in it. There's a second piece of trim here that the slider is on. And I don't know how to get that out of there. I really just want to look behind it real careful like. Yeah. Let's see, we've got a plug here. Set the trim someplace safer. Oh, there's a giant bolt right here. And, okay, are there really just... Alright, we are going to see if it really is just 3 giant bolts here. 1, 2, 3 that hold the back side of this machine on here. It's going to be an experiment because I do not have a manual on this. So, what do I have for a driver that might fit those big honkin'... Is that this size? Alright, these are 8 millimeters. So let's see if aha, and the hex drive sockets I have, the crimp here is too weak for them to undo that. That's great. Alright, well, I know what size it is. Now I just have to find a driver. Now let me go looking. Alright, I got 1, 2, 3 bolts loose here. So let's see if that is all that holds the front and back of this machine together. I'm sure there will be something hiding. But we'll start with these 3. I don't know what this... Oh, that is a cam to adjust the motor tension. Okay. Oh yeah, look at that. Oh, and there is a plastic piece in there that just became dust. So that's lovely. It's the problem with all these... Yeah, okay. So I think that... Alright, let's... Was that it? Now, with this laying on its side, and... this tension cam for the motor unit here moved. When I turn it, it doesn't sound like a washing machine grinding. So I wonder if that is all that was that tension all the thing that it needed? Well, I am going to stick these 3 bolts back in and not try to get this any further apart if that is indeed the secret to whatever that noise was. So there's no reason to take this machine any further apart than we have to. So I'm gonna since that noise has come away, I'm gonna put this back together and see what happens. Well, I thought that would be a good idea. That thing is going to have to get fixed. Let me go tighten these screws and then we'll see what happens next.